2 over 40s, 2 gentlemen Q Smiths and 2,000 snooker fanatics in the commentary box for the 2018 German Masters Final, live and exclusive on Eurosport. Neil Foles and Philip Studd.
Thank you very much, Colin. Wow, that was a hairs on the back of the neck standing up moment, wasn't it? What an atmosphere these 2,500 fans generate here at the wonderful Tempelgrund as the players pose in front of that wonderful water crystal bowl. 9 frames is what they need for the title. Mark Williams going for his second here. Graeme Dott contesting his first ranking final since 2010.
Mark, all the best. Thank you. First frame, Mark Williams to break.
Nothing quite like a final, Neil, to get the juices flowing.
Absolutely, but what an entrance from both players. It really is something quite special. If you've never been to this venue to watch snooker, I suggest you make it at some point, because that was spine-tingling stuff, wasn't it? Just seeing the players come in. What a crowd. And now it's all about the players continuing the way they've been playing all week. That's just wonderful. And there's this silence which comes in where the spectators become engrossed in the match. Well, it's quite amazing how he's left that red on. He really played it as a shot to nothing. I can't imagine that Graeme Dott ever thought he would be here at the point where he, against Zhao Guodong, trailed 4-0 in the best of 9. And even yesterday, you know, there were times in that match with Shaun Murphy when Murphy did look like he was getting on top. But he finished off in absolutely brilliant style. He didn't miss a ball in 3 frames.
It's certainly been a tougher road to the final for Dott. Remember, he could have gone out before we even got to the Tempelgrund. Needed a final frame to get past Peter Ebdon in qualifying. And then behind to Hawkins, miles behind to Zhao. 4 down with 5 to play. Before that perfect trio of frames to get past Shaun Murphy.
A bit of a nervy one. Didn't really play it either one way or the other there. Didn't really go into the bunch with any great conviction, but he missed the pot by far enough that it didn't really hit the draw. So that was an edgy start. As far as last night's match, I commentated on that 6-1 victory for Mark Williams, and I think what happened, he got to the front, sensed that his opponent, Judd Trump, was struggling a bit, and wanted to put him away, and he did say that the only time when Williams got a little nervy was when he was clearing up to beat him 6-1.
6.
Eight frames in this opening session, a possible 9 on the resumption this evening. First to 9 to pick up that trophy and a cheque for £80,000.
7. Schalten Sie bitte Ihre Blitzlichter aus.
Well, Mikey Kessler, the referee, heard something. I must admit, there's not a lot to disturb the players at this stage. 6 world finals between these two. Saying earlier that, interestingly, Dottie's 3 have been the most recent 3. There is Mikey Kessler, our German referee for this final. Proud day for her.
$15. 21. $22.
Could have done with the cue ball travelling a bit further.
29.
He'll be on the red okay, and it does take him up the table. It's all right. And the way that he plays those sort of shots, just drops them in. You never really feel that he's going to miss one of those. He's not a player that's guilty of overhitting very often. Well, that was a little bit of a gamble. I think there's a red to the right middle, although it's not an easy one. And the red to the left middle is quite narrow, quite an acute angle. Well, I don't think he hit that as he meant to. I'm sure he meant to hit that red more square on. Well, this is very missable. Similar to last year, I don't suppose you could have predicted these two to be in the final, and when Ali Carter played Anthony Hamilton here 12 months ago, you could never have worked that one out. They were there on merit, and these two have some very good pot. 36. And it, as I say, not much pocket opening there, but no problem at all.
$39.
I think Williams has surprised himself with his level of consistency this season. We know he's made some technical changes to his game, which have clearly paid dividends.
Yes, got a glimpse there of those two reds, both potable. He's almost carrying on where he left off last night.
47. 48.
Always been someone who's never overcomplicates things, just plays the shot in front of him, doesn't overthink the shot. And a bit more work to do to win the opening frame. And he'll settle very quickly if he does that.
55. 56.
Can't see him playing on the red down the cushion here. I'm sure he'll play on one of the reds in the middle of the table.
Just this red then.
63.
Graeme Dott being made to pay for the error on the brown.
64.
And that's what it's all about in this game of snooker, particularly in a final. Punishing your opponent's mistakes with something big.
Yeah, see, I think he was a little tentative
71.
on this. I don't suppose he could have gone full out into the bunch at speed. Maybe the angle wasn't there. Ultimately, he got on a red because Mark Williams has taken all these from
72.
the shot that Graeme played, I suppose.
Seven to 9.
Well, he told us ahead of this final he wasn't feeling nervous and he was as calm as you like in the opening frame of the German Masters final, punishing Graeme Dott's potting error on the brown with a break of 79 to take the opener. Mark Williams leads 1-0. German Masters, every seat taken, 2,500 people crammed into the Templedrome. And watching Mark Williams make a serene start, a break of 79 after Graeme Dott Had got in first,
Thank you.
but missed the brown.
Second frame. Graeme Dott to break.
Yeah, sometimes the opening frame of a final can be a nervy affair. That was just over 9 minutes playing time, that frame. So it was a quick starter. It's just what he wanted, just the players to get into it. Now Graeme Dott's just got to try and hang on to him and get this frame under his belt. He's got all the experience that you need. Well, he hit the wrong side of that, but even then, he always knew the cue ball was going safe. I think he went for the pot. He needed to find the bottom cushion on that shot. And now that he hasn't, I wonder whether Mark will have a little dart at this one. Well, he knew that leaving the cue ball there wouldn't leave an easy opener for Graeme Dott. Well, this is an ambitious one. Oh, terrific. And he needs to remain positive. He knew the cue ball was coming back to safety, but now he could do with it bouncing. Very good. Just saw a route back to the other end of the table as well. Now he feels almost compelled to take the black on. Played it well.
Eight.
Obviously a bad one,
Eight.
but I'm sure his concentration was divided between potting the ball and finding a path for the cue ball onto a colour. And how often do we see that player thinking about something else? You could see him looking at the cue ball, where it was going to head. But none of that matters when the pot stays out.
One. Eight. Nine.
time a little short. He hit it fairly firmly, but
16.
the cue didn't exactly fly around the table. Now he's got a difficult one. All the whole pack to cue over. It's going to be awkward to get to this. It's a question of where he puts his bridge hand. As you can see, he wants to put it somewhere in amongst the bunch. Now he's really close. This is no fun. That's very good. I can tell you that it'd be rare to have to cue over so many balls there as he had to on that last shot. But he's pretty unflappable, isn't he? Into the bunch. And he didn't hold back there either.
22.
Superb cueing. There's a real zen-like focus about Williams in the early running here. Chasing his 20th ranking title. This is his 32nd ranking final. Of course, he's already won in Belfast this season.
23.
I thought he hit this particularly well. And that was a good shot as well also, because he purposely left himself a slightly tricky black.
30.
Didn't like the
31.
contact, did he?
No, and he might be straight on the black, which I'm not saying it'll stop him, but it's an easier shot with a nice angle. To get on the red, that is, of course. Yeah, I'm not sure. Certainly the cue ball didn't react as he expected.
$38.
Another tremendous pot.
Yes, as I say, he always plays them so gently that everyone's in a little bit of suspense as to whether they're going to just glide into the pocket, but they tend to do that with Williams. Someone just making a possible distraction there. That's, you might have seen a referee just pointing to somebody in the audience. It's been quite a tricky break to keep going, actually. It's played on reds from positions you wouldn't normally see. Here's another one.
45.
And a long look at the angle. It's absolutely dead straight. It was one of the few shots he's had to play with a bit of extra pace, and that's one of the reasons I think he missed it. And no attempt at a pot there, just pushing the red along the cushion. That's a handy lead of 37. He would be happy for reds to go awkward.
One.
Wow. Williams might well push the yellow safe here, I think. Yeah,
Mark
that's
Williams won.
all because of his few-point advantage. Putting colours on cushions is in his favour.
Eight wins for Mark Williams to 3 for Graeme Dott. They've only played twice in the last 6 years. Their most recent meetings in 2016, both going the way of the Welshman.
Graham's job here, not only to get in, but to keep the balls in fairly open places. If he could get in next, he could get himself certainly back in the frame with what's there. That will be his first objective, I think. And he played a good safety shot. You saw Williams shake his head. Nothing easy to come back at him with. Dotty won't be happy about that. I think Graeme was looking clearly to find the baulk cushion, but he's bounced it away onto the baulk line at the kind of range that gives Williams something to go at. Yep, not pleased. Actually played it very well, even though he missed the pot. Nice cue ball. Well, 2 reds go, and I'm not sure if he saw them initially. There's no question that that top one will pot, but I think at first he was looking at something else. That is an outrageous fluke. Outrageous. Look, he's on the pink as well. Goodness me. It's one of the few shots he's hit badly, and he ended up getting rewarded for it.
Well, we saw one from Graeme Dott yesterday against Sean Murphy, which was pretty spectacular. I think that one might have eclipsed it.
Seven. 8.
Well, a lot of things moved here. Goodness me. Unbelievable.
Not just the fluke, but the opportunity to clinch the frame from it. Tough for Graeme Dott
14.
to take.
Here's a tricky little shot, just dropping it along the cushion. He'll play it slowly, you can be certain of that. And that's how he plays them. Never in doubt.
15.
So that snooker's required. It's only a snooker. And it was all because of this. And the
22.
position on the pink, just for good measure.
Well, it's just the
Mark
one
Williams,
snooker.
22.
Mark Williams has always been fabulous from long range. There's another example. So this second frame has gone the way of the first, albeit helped by an almighty fluke. But Graeme Dott looks
5.
a little unsettled at the moment. One or two loose safety
Williams,
shots
5
from
frame.
Dott, including the full ball kiss on the blue, which allowed Williams to play the shot and fluke the red, from which he got over the line to double his lead here in the German Masters final. Graeme Dott just a little edgy. He trails 2-0 at the German Masters, and a very good start for Mark Williams. Graeme Dott with plenty to ponder already, and cursing his luck, no doubt, because this was the mother of flukes. And it led directly to Williams clinching frame 2, although it was a loose safety that led him in for the chance of the red. Williams, though, by and large, looking very composed so far. Breaks at 79, 45 in that frame. And Graeme Dott not quite producing the snooker that he did against Sean Murphy in his outstanding performance in the semi-final, Neil.
No, but of course he should think back to the match with Zhao Guodong. He trailed 4-0 in the best of 9. He won that. We know he doesn't give up, but what he needs right now is just a chance to get in and capitalise and just get a frame on the board. It's a long match, but he wouldn't like to fall any further behind without really settling.
Thank you. Frame 3. Mark Williams to break.
This is Graeme Dott's 8 8th ranking final. 2010 World Championship was the last time he got to play for the title, and of course he's won just the 2. China Open in 2007, but of course the big one in 06 with that epic victory over Peter Ebden, 18-14.
Yes, once again, not finding the bolt cushion, but what he will do is probably settle, finishing over the top of the green like that. That's not an easy starter, but it was actually from an error from Dott. Mark might be able to get to some sort of centre ball cueing, but it's still very distracting where he is. It's a clever shot. Didn't take any undue risks there.
Dott is normally very good from a tactical point of view, as is Williams, of course, but he's going to have to sharpen up in that regard.
Quite a big difference in the prize money, as you'd expect when you get to a final. 35,000 is what both these players are guaranteed as runner-up, but of course the winner, £80,000. Well, that could be a poor mistake if the red goes to the right middle. It's a terrible error. It must be close. He was a bit heavy-handed on that shot. Well, the fact that he's swerving suggests he's not on. This would be some shot if he pots it. Well, that is just the most remarkably good shot. He was swerving onto it with the left-hand side. That is as good as you'll ever see.
He's always been a touch player, hasn't he, Mark Williams? He likes to stroke the balls around, and my goodness, he's in fine touch so far today.
8. Nine.
A few concerns already for the Glaswegian. He's yet to really settle, while Williams just looks so in control of things out there.
16. 17. 21. 22. 27. 28. 33.
Again, played gently to make sure the Reds didn't push themselves onto a cushion. But even then, this is not an easy one.
Once again,
34.
an awkward shot made to look very straightforward. It didn't touch the sides.
Yeah, I mean, the simplicity of Mark Williams' game is something to be learned from that. You know, there's a lot of great players who can occasionally just complicate matters out there, overlooking at shots and finding almost ways to get them to go wrong. But with Mark, he just plays the obvious shot every time. He plays them gently to give them more chance of going in the pocket than if he hit them hard. And he's just a brilliant player.
40.
Very clear thinking at the moment.
Won the first of his 19 ranking titles back in 1996. And 22 years on,
47.
playing as well, arguably, since he won his second world title back in 2003.
48.
But he's straight on the blue.
Yeah, he hit it a little straight, the pot to the far jaw, but he may feel that cue ball didn't react as he expected. And the fact that he is straight, it's hard to see which red he can play on. Possibly the three reds close to each other.
53.
I think the bottom one to the right corner, thin. Brilliant. Didn't get into a flat of the bad positional shot a couple of shots before. And that was one of the few places on the table he could actually get to that ball. Break's getting more and more difficult by the shot.
56.
Still enough points there, but he could conceivably pop one of these two reds. Oh, that was a very fine 56 break.
Mark Williams,
No, it's not a
56.
frame winner, but the opening red was just outstanding.
Well, this is the red that Neil is alluding to, and it would have been difficult enough without having to swerve. Hardly any of the pocket to aim for.
Foul. Miss. Graeme Dott, 4. Foul. Miss.
I think that was almost a repeat of the first one.
Graeme
Everything
Dott,
about the
4.
shot's right. It's just a centimetre short, something like that. And the key here, does he have a shot at a clear shot? Obviously, can't be able to see one full on. Well, that was odd, wasn't it? I didn't hear the warning. Anyway, we move on.
Yes, of course, if you can see the object ball full on, full ball, then you have to hit it at the third attempt, otherwise you forfeit the frame. There didn't appear to be a warning, but it's academic now. Great pot.
Yes, Philip, and that was the reason that Mark didn't want to play those two reds and why he played the layup snooker that he finished short twice, because he didn't really want to leave this option to him. This is a big moment, actually. I know it's a long match. But if Graeme could somehow pull this frame out of nowhere, he would feel up and running.
Well, that opening red was just Dott's 4th pot of the match so far.
Nine.
A big disparity, but this is an opportunity to get a foothold in the final, settle those nerves. And as we've already mentioned, he's not going to be fazed by falling behind, because he's been in that scenario in most of the rounds he's played here in Berlin, and this is an excellent pot, particularly given what had gone before.
17.
That is not a particularly good shot, though. That really isn't, and he's under pressure now. I think he got into the cue ball too much. This is very missable. Oh, very good recovery and a lovely cannon.
24. 32. $33.
No, it's not what he planned. I only assume that he tried to push the red into play there, which is not the shot everyone would have tried. Anyway, it's not irretrievable. Of course, he's a right-handed player, so if he gets on the red down the cushion, he'll need the rest. This is a difficult shot. Gives him a chance, at least. But not an easy shot coming up either, and it's about the fourth already in this break. Has played, giving the pocket every chance of accepting the ball, and is a natural from black to yellow, and this would be a mighty clearance. Still lots of work to do though.
Yeah, 44.
Williams' turn for a spell in his chair and paying the penalty for failing to get out of the snooker as he wanted. Eventually forced to play a shot he didn't want to play, and this is the result. And how well has Dott taken these, given that in the first couple of frames he didn't have much of a look in.
46.
Yeah, this was the red that he was almost, his mind was made up he had to go for. But he's a little bit further away from this green than he'd be comfortable with. So, another little cueing test, this shot. Oh, he passed the test with flying colours. Now, one more big shot to play. Need to screw around two cushions here to get them to the pink. Got to avoid the black in doing so. He could go one cushion and put the pink into the right corner. There are his two options. It feels quite tense. He's gone the one cushion route.
58.
Frame ball. What a clearance it would be.
He's known for his tenacity, is Graeme Dott, and the former world champion showing bottle in spades there. A number of pressure balls that he had to get, and he did get them. And he's got a foothold in the German Masters final. That's what it means. He grits his teeth as he halves the deficit. Mark Williams was looking good for 3-0, but instead it's 2-1. Mark Williams in with 56. A very well-constructed contribution. But then he failed to get out of a snooker on a couple of occasions, just trying to rest up to a red. And that meant that at the third time of asking, he effectively had to play a shot that he didn't want to play because he was risking forfeiting the frame if he missed for a third time.
Yes, that is exactly the take of it. It was a terrific pot, but like you say, Williams didn't want to break the two reds up. He could actually see a red full on. I'm not sure that Michael actually gave the warning, but Mark wasn't prepared to lose the frame anyway, because he wanted to just run up behind the two reds, or behind the red that he tried previously. And he saw little gritted teeth from Graeme Dott as he walked up, put this man under some more pressure.
What a break it was from Dott.
Thank you. Frame 4. Graeme Dott to break.
He'd only potted 3 balls before he got in with that long red. Ice in his veins as he cleared to the pink for 2-1. So battle joined here at the Templedrome. This is the final frame before the interval. There'll be another 4 after it. Possible 9 this evening. 9 is the target for the trophy and the check.
Yes, and if you hadn't seen any of the snooker previously this week for whatever reason, and you wondered how Graeme Dott was in the final, given that we haven't really to get to see too much of him playing well, I think you'll agree that you just found out how he's been playing. That was a tremendous match break. Tough snooker, this. And these two have been around. They know the game inside out.
Well, that's 5 out of 6 now from long range so far from Mark Williams today.
Five. Six. Eleven.
Might have to play the cannon here on the
17.
red to the right of the black.
18.
Careful not to push the red onto the cushion either. It's been a fine opening 4 frames. Not quite at the interval yet, the mid-session, but even if Williams was to make a frame-winning break here,
25.
the significance of the previous frame would still be there. With Graeme winning it when he had no
26.
right to win it. Well, it was always going to be difficult. He never had much of an angle on the black to get the
33.
speed to get into the bunch and open them. End of break.
Mark Williams, 33. It's touching ball.
Touching ball, so Graeme can play away, and he's deemed to have hit a red.
Mark Williams is, of course, seeking his second German Masters title today. He won the first one ever staged here at the Templedrome back in 2011, beating Mark Selby. And of course, he had to wait until Belfast last year, this season's Northern Ireland Open, for his next ranking title. Quite a gap.
Well, he's got to be most careful here. I just wonder if Graeme might think about going for this red to the top left pocket. And the fact that the pink is up there could be the key. If he was to get this, and it's difficult, then of course he could continue the break. But either way, he's not got an easy shot, whether it's that pot or any safety. Lots of reds have gone pretty close to pockets on this. The red near the middle, and then the red up the table, just dangerously close to the top left pocket. Mark can get to it, but it's very straight. Playing something else. There was a lot of risk attached to that one. And potentially lots of damage now that he has missed it.
Tough shot at the best of times, but knowing he was leaving Dott with plenty if he missed it made it that much more difficult. Well, what a result it would be for Dott if he could share the spoils in this first little mini session after the way that Mark Williams started this match.
Eight. Nine. 16. 17. 24. 25.
Well, still a few open reds, and he could certainly get himself some points ahead. But as far as going on to win the frame here, far from guaranteed. He's been behind in every frame, and like you say, Philip, if he could get to 2-2, it would be quite something. Pushing the brown awkward is not necessarily in his favour, however. Not later on.
31.
All sorts of incentives for Graeme Dott today. Of course, he'd love to win his third ranking title.
37.
A full 11 years after his second. But that cheque for £80,000 will come in handy, and the points that go with it. He's currently at 28 in the world, but he'll be knocking on the door of the top 20 if he lifts the trophy tonight.
38.
It's been a gripping hour's snooker.
Well, he's gotten a bit too too far, but it gives him the possibility of nudging that red out.
40.
That's the most safe of the four. Yeah, very good.
41.
Well, he's pushed it into another safe position, so that's unfortunate. Things are just getting more awkward now by the shot.
Graeme Dott, 41.
Well, it always looked as though it was drifting to the jaw.
Yes, and you just felt that the pressure in that break was starting to mount. The cannon on the red didn't really work out. So maybe he became a little disheartened, I think. Still very much in the frame, though, as it stands, with a small lead. What's he doing here? It's one of these with the rest in the air. It's crazy, isn't it? Mark seems to thrive on those shots, but he's gone against it anyway. I don't blame him. Time and a place, but he was holding the rest up in the air. He's in a cute one to the middle. Yes. I think a better shot than it looked.
Yeah, very delicate touch again from Mark Williams. We've seen plenty of that today. Just dropped in, didn't it?
Yes. 8.
Well, in playing this yellow, he needs to be very careful he doesn't snooker himself behind the brown on the remaining red. And he's played it in such a way that he didn't get in behind it very well. Now he's got to make the decision. Does he go for the pot? Or does he knock the red all around the table with the cast iron safety shot? He's looking at the pot.
This is one of those early landmark frames in a file, isn't it? Difference between 3-1 and 2-2.
Yeah, well, he thought better of it. It really was a 50-50 one, that. However, the intention was to get the snooker, so it could have been a better shot, actually. I wonder if Mark can get in behind the brown here. Really is anybody's frame now. And that, Philip, is the worst shot he's played today.
Could well cost him the frame. Four-ball kiss on the blue. Calamity for Williams. Can Dott punish him? is going to need the blue.
Yes, and that would mean that from the brown to the blue is
4.
not an entirely straightforward shot. Oh, he's got a kick. He was up on it. He felt it was a bad contact. He
Graeme Dott,
leapt in the
4.
air.
The crowd are engrossed already. Yeah, the cue ball certainly jumped off the bed of the table. What a let-off for Williams.
Strange one, though, because he missed it
2.
on the thin side, but it certainly didn't sound very good. You know, normally you miss these thick when you get a kick.
Well, he's had a couple of chances in this frame, Graeme Dott, to level the match at the interval. But it's not over just yet.
No, it's certainly not. He needs up to the pink. Up to and including the pink, and he can't get very close to the blue. It looks dead straight on the brown. Little surprised you never went for it and just that
Mark
first
Williams,
shot at
5.
the blue. But huge snooker enthusiasm here in Germany, Berlin. I was in Firth, close to Nuremberg, for the Paul Hunter in the late summer, and there was also great zest for the game there.
That was a better pot than it looked.
Yes, one thing you know about this frame, Philip, it's going all the way. This is going to be a chance to get first good safety shot in for Graeme Dott. No snooker, but it's pretty safe. And
Graeme
Dott's
Dott,
got to play
4.
a good return shot. Whoever pots the ball will need only the pink.
Foul. Miss. Graeme Dott, 5.
Well, I guess he could afford for that to happen again.
Okay.
A couple more times, but I wouldn't want to. Just a replacement job going on here.
How much?
Michael Kessler, the referee, and I guess Marcel Eckhard, who is the scorer, stroke marker for this match. There he is. Yes, no
Foul.
contact made. So Mark would certainly and did
Graeme
look at the
Dott's
score.
five.
And what he's looking at is, can he afford to make another foul here? And he can. He clearly doesn't want to, but if it was the point of another foul would mean he needed snookers, he would certainly play it with more pace. Well,
Foul. Miss.
this time, Philip, he will not be playing
Graeme
it this
Dott
way.
five.
He's got to play it with speed and hope to get the blue safe. He can't afford another foul here. Otherwise, he just gives the frame away.
Didn't get close on that occasion. Well, the crowd just thoroughly absorbed in this already. Just the fourth frame of a possible 17. He won't want that one back.
Well, there might be a gap. You can see quite a lot of that, actually.
Dott, of course, now just needs the blue.
Well, has he left enough of the blue out? If so, it's a mistake. And it could be a very costly one. Well, this would feel like a crushing blow.
Five.
Yes, that applause was premature. Williams managing to sink the blue, but he needs pink and black as well. This is a big shot. He does have ice in his veins, this guy. That's why he's a multiple World, UK, a Masters champion, and 19 times ranking champion. And he stroked that pink in as though he was on the practice table. What a big frame that is in the early running here in our German Masters final. It looked as though Graeme Dott was going to level at 2 each from 2-0 down. Perhaps he should have done. But Mark Williams keeps his cool to sink that pressure pink. And it's him that takes the early advantage going into our first interval. He leads 3-1.
Listen, I've seen Mark Williams play, obviously, since he started playing, and for me, he's making fantastic shots. He's not scoring as heavy as like the likes of O'Sullivan, John Higgins, but he's not far away, and he's going to take some beating in this match.
Well, Ronnie is not far away from the commentary box. Philip Studd flies solo until.
Well, Mark Williams has been smooth as silk thus far, hasn't he? Thoroughly merits his 3-1 lead. Very much in sync with everything that's going on out there in the Templedrome. And Graeme Dott, as the guys have said, will be hoping that his level drops just a little bit and that touch deserts him. Dott, as we know, would just keep battling. Wonderful clearance to win the one frame that he's got on the board. One of the best you'll see. Four more frames in this session, of course.
Ruhiger bitte.
One or two spectators a little late back to their seats after the mid-session break. Absolutely packed to the rafters. And you can hear a pin drop right up until the moment when one of the players does something good, and then the roof is raised. Graeme Dott's safety has got better as this final has gone on. It was down in the 60s at one stage, but it's now a little bit better than Williams at 83. No surprise, though, to see that Williams is bossing the pot success percentage. 93 is excellent. It's not missed much that's mattered. But there's a safety error. So Williams with the first opportunity after the interval.
Six.
The rocket has arrived. Ronnie O'Sullivan joining us for this second half of the first session.
Yeah, brilliant first 4 frames of this match. Mark playing fantastically well, and Graeme doing well to win a frame, really.
Well, this is how Williams got in.
12. Thirteen.
Second best at the moment. He's just got to stay patient, hope that Williams' level drops a bit. I guess with a ranking final like this, Ronnie, it's almost like 2 different matches, isn't it? The first session and the second.
18.
And if you're being outplayed in the first, it's about damage limitation, just trying to stay in contention so that you give yourself the chance to turn things around in the second.
19.
Yeah, you don't want to go too far behind, though, so whereas you're kind of just coming into the evening session hoping just to make the score respectable. I mean, if this goes 6-2, then, you know, you can't really see Dotty getting back into the game. 5-3, yeah, he's definitely still in the game. So, yeah, you got to try and stay
24.
within touching distance of your opponent. Otherwise, you're hoping for a major collapse. But someone like Mark Williams, who's experienced enough, won enough tournaments, been there enough times,
25.
he ain't going to collapse. So, you know, he's really got to start finding a way to win frames and start trying to dominate in these next 4 frames.
Well, that hasn't gone to plan. So this is more awkward than it might have been. He's been a master at
31.
potting the tricky balls today, hasn't he? Retrieving situations when he has been in a spot of bother.
I think that's why, you know,
32.
he's playing, you know, this sight right has really helped him out, because obviously he's not like a John Higgins type player or a Steve Davis where you're banging position every time. Mark is a shot maker type of player, a bit like Alex Higgins was, and you need to be pulling shots like that out, you know, sometimes. And if you're not cueing well and you're trying to pop pinks like he did into the middle, they're just impossible sometimes. So this feeling that he's got of sighting the ball really well, he's probably fancies them
38.
shots now, which is enabling him to keep the breaks going. So, you know, he must be feeling
39.
just in love with playing snooker again.
He has been incredibly consistent this season. He's won in excess of 40 matches. Of course, he's won a title already.
45.
Northern Ireland Open, won the 6 Reds World Championship as well. Numerous quarterfinals, semi-finals.
46.
That's a typical example of why he's queuing really well. And most players won't be getting a red from after this. He's dead straight on the blue. The reds ain't easy to get on. Most players will go, OK, I'll pop the blue and play safe. Well, let's see how Mark Williams goes about this. This is what I'm talking about, shot making. And if you're not queuing well, these are tough shots.
$50. $57.
Again, it was beautifully struck, wasn't it? Right in the heart of the pocket.
You can't strike a ball any better than that, really. So nice to watch two old-school type players. I think the modern-day players, the first opportunity they get to do is to smash the pack open, they will.
64.
Well, that was the ball that leaves Graeme Dott needing snookers. And once again, Williams has punished a Dott error with a frame-winning break. He did it in the first with 79. He's done it again here.
71.
Just 59 on the table. He can do no wrong at the moment.
79. Mark Williams, 79.
Well, no century, but it's his second break of 79 of the match. It's more than enough to increase his lead, which is beginning to get a little ominous from Graeme Dott's point of view. Mark Williams is playing like a dream, and he now leads by 4 frames to 1. Was here in the Templedrum in Berlin. The very first was won by Mark Williams, beating Mark Selby in the final back in 2011, looking to become the first ever multiple winner of this great tournament. And Graeme Dott has got a lot to do to deny him right now. 4-1 down, 3 more frames to come in this session, so Williams already has the comfort of knowing the worst he can be is level. And of course he wants to inflict a lot more damage.
Funny thing is, Graeme really hasn't done a lot wrong.
20. A little brush off the brown did the damage.
One.
Worst place that white could have landed there. Can't get to the green. Chinese on the yellow. But he is good at these shots. Oh, kick.
Mark Williams, 1.
Striking down on the white can tend to lead to a kick. See the way the yellow pushed off to the left-hand side of the jaw.
Well, the one significant break that Graeme Dott has made in this match was an outstanding one. That brilliant clearance of 64 from 57 behind. He needs some more of that inspiration now if he's to get back into this.
Eight.
You couldn't really wish for the balls to
9.
be any better than this. The red just above the black, you'd really want to try and use that as a way of going into the pack, potting it, going into the pack and opening reds up. Which he won't be able to do from this angle.
16. 17.
Still has a red there to the left-hand side that can go into the middle or the corner. It's not a great pack to go into from here. If he screws into them too much, the white could end up back behind the black. Played it very well, like a stun. Took the spin off of the white,
24.
so it was more of a flat white, so the white wasn't spinning around.
25.
And being behind is nothing new to Graeme Dott in this tournament, of course. He was 4 down with 5 to play against Xiao Guodong, 3-0 down to Barry Hawkins.
$32. $33.
Has to go into the pack of reds here if he wants to continue the break. Struck that well.
$40.
Could either play the double, the red at the back of the pack, or clip it in to the middle.
Well, he's in 2 or 3 minds here as to what to play. This is an absolutely pivotal frame for Dodd. He's got to win it. He's got himself in front, but 39 points, nowhere in it, nowhere near enough. Crowd absolutely gripped by the entertainment.
Clever shot there by Graeme. Already had 1 red on the cushion. Put a second one on the cushion, so it's like a double insurance policy. Very quickly, Williams gets both reds off the cushion, which is massive to his advantage, being 40 points behind. That's the thing with Mark Williams, he sees the shot so quickly, doesn't really think about it, just knows exactly instinctively what shot to play.
Yeah, he's looking frustrated, isn't he? He was willing that cue ball to slip past the brown, but it's another chance for Williams. He's normally pretty deadly with a shot like this.
One.
Yet another impressive retrieving shot.
3.
Mighty thin.
Four.
Reds couldn't be placed any better here. Every one of them potable. Queuing nicely. Lovely situation to be in.
And this will be doubly
11.
hurtful, won't it, for Graeme Dott if he loses this one, having been first in, built a useful lead.
12.
But again, he hasn't really done anything wrong. Played some good safeties, caught one a little bit thick, put it over the hole. Could be 5-1. Tough score.
19. Twenty.
All Dott can hope for right now is that Williams' level drops significantly
27.
between the end of this session and the beginning of the deciding session. The danger is that by then most of the damage will have been done.
28.
Could still take a 7-1 lead into the finale tonight. That would surely be curtains for the Glaswegian.
The funny thing is
35.
that when you're playing, sometimes you're just trying to get such a big lead. But when you're playing this well, you don't actually want the match to end sometimes. So you don't feel the pressure. You kind of think, well, I just want to keep playing, you know? So that's the danger for Graeme as well. It's not like Mark's going to start thinking, I want to push ahead, I want to push ahead. He's thinking, I don't care. The more frames I play, the better.
Cheers. 36.
a pretty amazing renaissance, really,
43.
for Mark Williams in the last 12 months. When you think that before the Northern Ireland Open, he hadn't won a
44.
ranking event since 2011 when he won here.
This game's, and probably most sports, is just about confidence, and I think a confident Mark Williams is always going to win tournaments, even when he's
51.
50 years of age. But an unconfident Mark Williams,
52.
you know, the game's not that easy, so you're seeing here what he basically does day in, day out. But yeah, like you say, you know, he's had a few years where he hasn't been confident, and he's stuck at it, and this is...
58.
This must be feeling really good for him.
59.
It's his fourth break of over 50 in the match. It looks like being another frame-winning one.
He's playing that well, he's probably not even aware that he just needs the yellow. He's probably thinking, I just want to clear the table.
64.
There is no problems. There is for Graeme.
Frame ball comes and goes.
He's made a mistake.
So 27 the difference. 25 left, it's just
Mark
the one
Williams,
snooker.
66.
He's made a mistake, but played a great safety shot.
Well, it never rains, but it pours. It's all
Mark
going
Williams,
wrong at the moment
6.
for the former world champ. Two snookers to tie. But he's not going to get the chance to play for them.
3. Mark Williams, 3 and
And Graeme Dott, who's looking a little sad in his chair, remains seated as Mark Williams powers on. That was another superb break from Williams. Easy on the eye when he's in full flow like this. He's 4 clear at 5-1. Best snooker he's produced since he was last world champion way back in 2003. Not only this season with his level of consistency, but today in particular, just with the way he is cueing. It's close to perfection, and there's not a lot that Graeme Dott can do about it right now.
frame number 7. Mark Williams to break.
Dott was in first in the previous frame. Played safe. As Ronnie says, he's done precious little wrong, but Williams is just pouncing on everything. Two more frames then in this session. Realistically, you've got to think Dott needs both of them. And that's a good start. His long potting has been outstanding all week. It's a feature of his win over Murphy, as well as his good break building when it really mattered at the back end of the match. There's confirmation, 4 out of 5 isn't shabby, Ronnie.
Yeah, and that's the one good thing he's going in Graham's favour, is that he's cueing well. So even though he's 5-1 down, he knows that's just possibly 4-1 visits, and he's cueing well enough and playing well enough to do that. Whether he gets the opportunities to do it is another thing. I mean, there's a great long red to get in, but if you've got to keep potting them to get in, it's a hard day at the office.
6.
Terrific cueing.
Managed to get the pink into play. Black's tied up. I wonder if he goes up for the blue, because he doesn't want to pot the pink and then tie the pink up again. That's what he's thinking.
12.
He now needs to move one of them reds by the pink spot. Once he does that, then the pink will be open to one of 4 pockets. Ideally, you'd like to get the red by the left-hand side of the pink off. Where the pink spot is, you can see there's 2 reds there. If you can get to that one, then the pink will go in 2 pockets. He's managed to get on the one on the right-hand side of the pink, so if he pops this, he'll still want to remove the other red before potting the pink. In this situation, it just takes one good shot, or just to get the one ball out of the way to make the break a lot easier. And again, it's that red by the pink spot. If he can get that out of the way, he'll be in business. If not, he's going to keep having to cut for blues and bulk colours. And the white's going to have to travel a lot around the table, which then brings more chances of not creating the big breaks.
$23.
Again, another tough red. Gonna have to go down to a bulk colour. Played that very well. Now this is the red I was telling you about. Once he gets this out of the way, he will pop the pink. And it will make the break building so much easier now.
27. $28.
Well, Williams hasn't spent much time in his chair this afternoon, but having to sit this one out for now. And I'm sure most of the Templedrome crowd will be
34.
pulling for Graeme Dott right now, because they want to see a close final. They want to see a real contest. There's a danger that Williams is going to run away with it, with the way things are at the moment. Well, gigantic kick, presumably.
Yeah, sure. 35.
You saw his reaction. Absolutely livid.
He did kind of snatch at that a little bit, and sometimes a kick can be brought on by snatching cueing. He didn't really strike through that one cleanly. So really only got himself to blame there. I wouldn't say that was a kick, a natural kick. That was kind of created by himself.
Yeah, there was a bit of elbow movement in that one, wasn't there? Oh, this is a real struggle, this break. It's only 35. He's been going up and down the table. Make it 40 now with the blue.
40.
His recovery shots have been fantastic. And that just goes to show that he must be cueing very well.
I guess that underlines the
Graeme
point
Dott, 40.
you made, Ronnie, that when you keep having to try and retrieve a situation and the cue ball has so much mileage on it, kind of wears you down.
I'm not sure he actually likes that kind of an angle of a shot. I don't know if you remember earlier on in the match, he missed a yellow. Similar type of angle. Playing at a similar type of speed.
1.
Sometimes there's a shot that you just don't like, and that's probably Graham's shot.
Well, if Williams can dish up here, that really will be salt into Graeme Dott's already sizable wound.
7. Eight.
And the way he's cueing, you wouldn't bet against it. Oh, this is the yellow that Ronnie's talking about.
14.
Never really threatened the pocket, did it? That was earlier in the match.
15.
A lot of work to do here. The black is tied up with 2 other reds. There's another red on the side cushion. So he won't be expecting to clear the table here. But the way he's been playing, I wouldn't put it past him.
21. $22.
He pots this red, he'll be able to bring the black and the other red out.
28.
And if this goes well, and he doesn't put the black or the red safe and he lands on the colour, it's a good opportunity.
29.
This is a proper shot-making shot coming up here. He's going to have to pot the pink, try and miss one, the bulk colours, come down for a red. Oh.
35.
Well, he's back in the frame, just 5 in it.
Mark Williams, 35.
Still all sorts of scenarios possible in this first session. Williams could have an unassailable lead at 7-1, but equally, Graeme Dott could emerge just 2 behind, which would be an unbelievable result, the way things have gone. Great pot again from Williams.
1.
He could get on this red on the right-hand cushion here. Played that very well. Not sure he has a good angle on the black to get on the red. Might have to take the pink in the middle and screw back behind the red. Oh, no, he's okay here. He's playing the snooker.
16. Mark Williams, 16.
So Williams in control of this frame, as he's been throughout the afternoon, turning the screw.
That's been ultra granite, that is.
And it's paid dividends straight away.
One.
Got to be careful here. He's got to try and get a Mr. Black. He's got to try and come, make sure he doesn't fall behind the brown. This is not an easy shot. If anything, he wants to try and play to cannon the brown, so it's like a billiard shot.
Six.
So this frame is not done yet.
Eight.
19 in front, 25 left.
Mark Williams, 8.
And again, a brilliant safety shot. This is the thing with Mark Williams. Not just a good passer, a good break builder. Unbelievable tactical game.
Well, if the green disappears, the best Dott can do is tie the frame. Oh, well, who saw that coming? Hold the back page. Williams misses one.
I'm in shock.
It's a good pot, but he's going to need another one. What a gigantic frame this is now in the context of this final. If Dott could somehow pinch it and win the last of the session, he'd feel like he'd won it, rather than be a couple adrift, because that would be a great result for him. 7-1, 6-2. Tall order. There was a lot of pressure on that.
Graeme Dott,
He'll be
3.
relieved it's run safe. Very nearly a snooker. Yeah, it was that close.
Not an easy shot here. You can't send the Brown up and down the table because the double kiss is on. Trying to play the left-hand side of the Brown, the double kiss is on. He might be forced into taking this on.
Well, had he fluked it, and he nearly did, he'd have had a great chance to pinch the frame. As it is, Mark Williams just needs this Brown. And the pain becomes greater for Graeme Dott. No heroics on the Brown from Williams, 20 the difference, 18 left.
Mark Williams, 4.
Don't know if something dropped off the cameraman's lens, but anyway, if Williams strokes this in, it's going to be 6-1. Well, he's playing Mark Selby-ish, relentless, ruthless snooker.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes when you're playing that well, you don't want the frame to end. You think, why should I pot this when I can just make him suffer a little bit more? Suffering. What a beautiful feeling to give to your opponent.
You're a hard man.
Yeah, but it's so pleasurable. I can keep him out here a little bit longer than needed.
Well, I don't think he'll be playing safe this time. So whatever happens now, Mark Williams guaranteed a commanding lead to take into the final session. Just one more frame to come for the second frame in a row. Graeme Dott got him first and was 40 in front, but it wasn't enough. Mark Williams punishes him again and moves into a 6-frames-to-1 advantage with just one left in this session. Masterclass from Mark Williams this afternoon. Every aspect of his game has been outstanding. Great safety, his long potting as good as always, his break building has been sublime, but perhaps more impressive than anything, Neil, and welcome back to you, is just the way he's retrieved situations today with these delicate little shots that he seems to play better than anyone else.
No, he's playing very well. He's such a cagey player as well. You know, he seems to be, at the moment, aware of the situation that Graeme is just finding it hard to clinch closest frames. He's lost 2 or 3 now in this session, and he knows, Mark does, that these frames have got a habit of taking the same pattern, and he's got a chance of almost winning the tournament this afternoon. If he can win the next frame 7-1, it's going to be a huge deficit tonight. So this
Thank
frame...
you. It's the last frame of the session. Graeme Dott to break.
This frame is a huge one for Graeme Dott. He has to win it, or else I don't see any way back.
That's 9 out of 11 now from long range for Williams today.
Yeah, it's very sweet. This was absolutely nowhere near even a jaw, never mind the fact that he's ever going to miss it. Attacking shot here, though. Well, that's almost embarrassing for Mark. He'll feel embarrassed. Graeme will be furious. I mean, he's knocked the red over the pocket. It's, I think, more of an outrageous fluke than the one earlier, actually. But, of course, as we know, and it is a cliche, but it's true, luck certainly goes with the guy
6.
in snooker, or the girl, whoever it is, who needs it least. Because the fact is, when you're playing well, everything seems to run for you. It's an outrageous fluke.
And he's had one already today,
13.
so that's just darned greedy. One in the second frame, remember.
14.
But most of this session has been about a very high level of skill from Williams. Certainly deserves his lead.
$21.
Well, he'd be a bit slightly annoyed that he didn't screw back far enough to put you able to pop that red. That was a minor error.
Mark Williams, 21.
The fluke didn't amount to many, but still stopped Graeme Dott from having a chance. Something seemed to just distract him briefly. But not enough to stop him potting another long one. Just keep flying in, Philip.
As you say, not even threatening the jaw, just right in the middle, really.
Mark Williams, 1.
Yeah, it's just keeping on the pressure. It doesn't look a particularly difficult escape route just to nestle into the bunch. But you'd think that Williams will have a shot to put him in there again. That's sometimes what people forget. He's got a touching ball, so maybe Can't make it difficult. Just won't give Graeme a shot, though. Why should he? Graham's got to find a way of winning this frame.
Well, Williams won't be interested in a re-rack because he's got a handy little lead.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, you know, even if it comes down to the possibility of one, he wouldn't, with a 22-point lead, be looking for a re-rack. He'll be try and play a shot which takes the cue ball out of there somehow. I think you can do it here.
Comfortably winning the safety battle now, Williams, at 85%, as opposed to 70 from Dott. Well in front in the pot success as well.
Now, Mark immediately looking at that middle red of the three. It's a tricky one. Well, that was not in cleanly, and it was only the lack of pace that made it dropped. It was always top jaw. I wasn't certain either way on this one.
7. Eight.
Because he could have won every frame this afternoon. I need to rub it in for
13.
anyone watching and supporting that man, Graeme Dott. But the frame that Graeme won, he made a quite brilliant 64 clearance from a long red, or else he might have won none of these frames.
It's a measure of how good Williams has been, isn't it, that Dott had to come up with something quite
14.
exceptional just to register a frame.
Yes, and of course, what would have hurt him was, I think, the fourth frame, which turns out, I think, to be a real big one, where Graeme was clearing up to win it and couldn't quite get over the line. Since then,
21.
despite making a couple of 40 breaks, all the close frames have just
22.
gone against him.
And
that seems likely that he will go on and win
30.
this frame. Let's not make any bones about it. 7-1 down, first to 9. That's a huge deficit. Especially with Williams playing as well as he is. I don't see how he's not going to be crowned champion again.
37.
He's given himself so much breathing space, hasn't he? It was notable how he really turned the screw in that 8th frame.
38.
Absolutely determined to give himself a huge amount of breathing space tonight by winning that frame. Because had he lost it, and I'm talking about the 7th, then Dott could still have come out of this session 5-3, which would have been
45.
extraordinary. But there goes another frame ball for Mark Williams.
$53. 54. 61. 62. 69. 70. 77. 78.
We've seen a lot of those today, haven't we? Long-range balls disappearing right in the heart of the pocket. The one thing we haven't seen is a century, and that could be about to change.
83. 85. 88. 92.
7 years ago, this tournament was revitalised here at the Berlin Templedrome. Mark Williams lifted the title.
97.
Later that season, he would go on to return to world #1. So he has very many happy memories of this great venue. And my goodness, has he put on a show for the crowd in the first session. That is pretty much the complete performance from Mark Williams. He's purred along like a Rolls-Royce this afternoon. Graeme Dott hasn't done a lot wrong. He's been comprehensively outplayed in all departments, and Williams needs just 2 more to make history and win the German Masters for the second time, which has never been done before. He leads Graeme Dott by 7 frames to 1.